The draft has happened. All right. We are putting down the rubrics. We are done with grades. You've heard grades all weekend long. All right. A, B, C, hopefully nothing lower than that, but we've heard all the grades. It is time to talk about winners and losers because on this roster, as a direct result of the draft, we definitely got some winners, and unfortunately, we definitely got some losers. So it's time to talk about it, dissect it, break it down. All around, Boy Green meets Wudi.
Can you guys help us get a jet chant here? Yeah, going.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. Come on in. Yeah.
Okay, let's go! A-E-T-S, yes! Let's go! Let's go! There you go!
Third Party Thursday.
Chris joining us here on the program with a capital P here on the program.
Jake Asman, come on down. How you doing, good sir?
Wow, what an intro. I mean, Boy Green is known for having the intro, but Wudi, that was unreal, man. Thanks for the kind words, son.
We are men of many names.
My favorite Austrian Jets fan right there, baby.
Boy Green
Meets Wudi. Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy James Wudi, and you already know we are Wudi, rocking everywhere. All right, the man here, look at this. He is the boy who became king. Look at him under the light, Mr. Paul Esden Jr. All right, you heard his grades. You've heard his feedback. You've seen the reactions. We reacted live, but now it is time to pick winners and losers from this draft. But before we do that, I gotta ask my boy, how you doing?
Not well, Wudi. Not well. Because I need to give a special shout out at the beginning of today's show, if I may.
Yes, of course.
Now, I would highlight this if I can, because that's the kind of guy I am. But Instagram does not allow that functionality yet on StreamYard that we can bring up an Instagram comment on StreamYard. So you're going to just have to take my word for it. But I want to give a very special shout out at the top of the show. I see this on my Instagram. NL Sports Platter, Mike Lindsley. He commented in. He's a fellow podcaster out in the universe. And his comment is, fuck the Jets. And Mike Lindsley is a Buffalo Bills fan. And I would just like to say, from the bottom of my heart, fuck your no Super Bowl ass winning Buffalo Bills. All right, pal, Mr. 0-4 in the 90s and saying, but we've won a couple of AFCs. Screw you, buddy boy. Every time the Jets go to the Super Bowl, they win. They're batting 1,000. All right. And last time I checked, that's on track for the Hall of Fame. So the Bills in the audience can suck my blank. Okay, so I didn't want to start with that kind of energy, but I see that on my Instagram, and I'm like, who the hell are you, Buffalo Bills fans? Little engine that couldn't? You're coming up to me and giving me that kind of BS? Fuck the Jets. Fuck you, buddy. That's what I'm saying. Unbelievable. So to all the Bills Mafia, F you. Send. Come on now. What? Come on.
Wow, that is the start. That is the start for sure. ML Mike Lindsley, I hope you caught that. You caught that special delivery package from
Probably not. It was wide right.
It was, oh my gosh. Well, that is something, and they are one of the 32 teams that drafted this past weekend.
Sure.
I don't think the fans are that hyped with their draft. Based on what I've seen, there's no one overly upset about this New York Jets draft. I think we all can agree that it could have been better, but it's pretty good. I feel that has been the consensus. Is pretty good. I haven't seen any grades, D, F, and trust me, I was harsh on some of the previous recent drafts. So with this one, I know you guys didn't see any grades from me. I unfortunately personal stuff. I wasn't able to be as active over the weekend as I wanted to. But just if you're curious to know, well, what is the Wudi grade?
Yeah.
It was a B-. I was ecstatic with the first 3 picks. I thought the first 3 picks were perfection. And then from there, I don't know who is at the wheel, but we'll see. Maybe they'll surprise me. I know Terrence said he wasn't buying it, but at the time in 2021, I wasn't loving all the safeties, but that turned into starters that got second contracts with the Jets. So maybe, I don't love these and they turn into starters that have second contracts with the Jets. So definitely too early to say anything definitively bad about this team. About their draft.
Well, Professor, I appreciate it. Better late than never. Okay, you bastard, for God's sakes. But, thanks for sharing. Grades are good. I agree with you. That's been sort of the synopsis. I was looking around at Mel Kiper's and Dane Brugler's, and really the Jets were sort of middle of the pack. I think a lot of people agree with sort of what you said. They love the first 3 picks, or rather, phrase it this way, they love the first 2 days of the draft. And then day 3, some people have some question marks. Some people are higher on some of the prospects the Jets took. Some people are a little bit lower. So it's a sort of a mystery bag. But I reiterate it just to bring it back full circle to say this. For the people like, geez, we didn't get a superstar in every round. First off, none of us know that yet. Let's see what happens on the field. And number 2, not every class is going to be 2022. Oh, all-pro, superstar, this, that, or the other. If you can walk away with 2 or 3 starters, and maybe we'll see what else the Jets have. Armand Membu, starter from day 1. Mason Taylor, starter from day 1. Azarie Thomas, maybe starter day 2, quote unquote. What I mean by that is like a delayed starter. He'll eventually be a starter. Malachi Moore, he's probably going to be a starter at safety too. You're telling me you got 3 or 4 starters out of this draft? Not too shabby as far as I'm concerned, especially on a rookie-controlled cheap contract. So again, I'm not going to lie to you guys and say, A+. Every pick was phenomenal. I won't say that unless it was, and it wasn't. So, it's TBD. Let's see. I know people don't like the professor that punts. Okay, they'd rather me go for it. I'm going to punt on this one, and hey, let's give a discount double check in due time.
Wow. Well, I didn't. I was expecting the A+ every pick, so that's good to hear that. You showed some reservation there.
Sure. Yeah.
Winners and losers. This is a fun game. It's actually one of my favorite games to play. Just because there's fallout. And something that you just said made me think of somebody who is written down on my sheet as a loser of the draft, unfortunately. So I guess we can start there. I wasn't going to start there, but you just said it, and now I'm thinking my heart is like, thanks for this guy. But anyway, if you're unfamiliar, right, we just say names and why they lost, why they won. All right, celebrate the win more than the loss.
Sort of next level, because like Wudi started it like draft grades. Everyone loves doing draft grades, and that's a fine system. It's all around the place. I don't shame grades, but I think now that we're talking on Tuesday and the draft ended on Saturday, a next level conversation is what are the ripple effects of the draft? Who benefited from what occurred over the weekend, and who, oh boy. It's not, maybe for some it might be a death nail, but not everybody. Some things are maybe looking a little lackluster in a certain department. So that's sort of the theme of today's festivities. So hopefully you guys can enjoy it. We got 200 people in the room. Like the video, hit subscribe, baby. Appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely. And shout out our boy Chris B. We got the A+, boy Green. We got the A+. All right, we talking grades. And hey, thank you, Chris B. We out here. Pass with flying colors, and everybody in the chat, we're all winners. All right, just to let y'all know, we are all winners. I'm going
except for ML Sports Platter, who I continue to see on our Instagram comment section talking all kinds of talk. He's like, I didn't want to talk Bills. I just want to talk Jets. Oh, that's interesting. You want to throw rocks from your glass house, but all of a sudden I start turning around like, whoa. I thought we were just talking about the Jets here. That's what happens, buddy. That's what happens. Anywho, I digress.
So, yes, one loser in the comment, and the first or the second loser.
Okay.
No one I'm going to bring up. As you said, Malachi Moore, could be a starting safety. Well,
yeah,
in February Tony Adams was a starting safety. This
Sure.
new regime comes in, Andre Sisco,
Mm-hmm.
now Malachi Moore. It's not a nail in the coffin. He's not dead. There's no reason to write a eulogy, but clearly he has a lot of competition if he is going to, get meaningful snaps this season. So if I'm Tony Adams, definitely not feeling great with the moves of the Muji regime.
I mean, let's be honest. For old Tony, it's been a rough couple of months. The owner said Tony Adams should be benched. Huh? What? Who? What? Woody Johnson apparently came out in a meeting, just kind of boom. I got something to share with the room. We're like, oh boy, what's this going to be? Tony Adams to the bench. Wait, what? Or safety? Yeah, the former undrafted guy, bench. It sort of seems sort of random and specific, but okay, owner. Tony Adams to the bench. Now we fast forward a couple of months. Jets are going Cisco signing. They're going draft. They're going to love. I agree. Rough couple of months for old TA, but he's still on the roster, 90-man roster. We'll see. He'll have his opportunity to carve out his role. And hey, it's been a nice little career so far for Tony, who started off as an undrafted free agent. It's very hard to make it in the NFL as an undrafted free agent. And he quickly just rose from, whoa, this guy made the roster to unquestioned starter last year. It's like, wow, okay, look at that sort of rise on up. Rise on up. A little rise on up action. Phenomenal for TA. I love that. Well, let's balance the sandwich, Woody. In Taekwondo, that's as we're both practitioners in the beautiful martial art of Taekwondo. In the current age, they didn't used to grade this way, but in the current age of grading at testings for Dan levels, that's when you get a new belt. You're attempting for a new belt. They say they want you to give a sandwich for every insult. Do you have two compliments to sort of go along with it? So you don't just overly criticize and just destroy people, sort of balance the sandwich. So I want to bring the beautiful art, the Korean art of Taekwondo, to the table. And what I would like to do is give a winner. And I think perhaps the biggest winner of the entire 2025 NFL draft is Justin Fields. And the Jets talk that talk in the offseason, saying, Justin Fields is our guy. We just need him to play the quarterback position. He's the guy. Talk is cheap. Results-oriented business. What happens when it's all there? Woody, are you a Survivor fan? CBS show Survivor? You a Survivor fan?
Never seen an episode.
Okay, so I'm sure this beautifully orchestrated reference I'm about to make is going to hit you right in the chops, which is what we're hoping for. But in Survivor, you get 18 to 20 castaways on a random island, and everyone says, oh, Woody, we're in an alliance. We're friends. We're together. And you can believe that, but the real truth is when you get to tribal council. Who do I vote for? Then all of a sudden your allegiances are revealed. What's the truth? And tribal council was the 2025 NFL draft. The Jets said all the sweet pleasantries. We're in the honeymoon period. Oh, Justin Fields is great. He's a superstar. He's all these things. But what does it mean when we get down to the brass tacks? The rubber meets the road. Did the Jets take a quarterback at 7? Did they take one at 42? Did they take one at all? Well, the answer to that question is a loud no. They didn't take one anywhere in the draft. They have an undrafted free agent. We actually did a show on that earlier today. Let Brady cook. Missouri, baby. Okay, let's get those T-shirts cranking. But the major winner is Justin Fields. No quarterback was selected. And the only guy they brought in is an undrafted free agent. Zero competition to Justin Fields. They added weapons all around him. Armand Membu, right tackle. Tight end, pass catcher, add there. A wide receiver later. Justin Fields got to be like, this team said they believed in me, and they actually believed in me. If I'm Justin Fields, I'm feeling invigorated today, saying, look, this team promised me things in free agency, and they've lived up to it. If I'm Justin Fields, I'm more fired up than ever for what this Jets opportunity can be. Again, ultimately, it's on him of what this is going to be. How is Justin Fields not the biggest winner of this whole gosh darn thing?
It's not close. I thought we were going to build up to the crescendo, but way to have the biggest winner right off the bat. But
Sure.
Yeah, it's not close. Didn't, like you said, everything you said, right? Didn't draft competition. Got, solidified the offensive line. Mm-hmm. 2 weapons in their first 4 picks for him, including, a tight end, second round. That's a pretty large investment at that position, a position that, we all agree we brought in Ryan Roberts, which one is more useful for Fields, tight end, right in the middle of the field. I mean, what this really does is eliminate all these excuses. So I need,
Sure.
there's nothing. There's nothing we can say. 4 years of providing excuses for this man. Now there's none. You got the best line the Jets have had in 10 years. Weapons littered throughout the field. Strongest running back room. Donovan Edwards out here. And a coaching staff that clearly, fully believes in him. So yeah, huge winner. Just as a side to that, I would say Jordan Travis, right? Because obviously drafting a QB, he would be the first one to go. So
Sure,
by
yeah.
not drafting a QB, like the same points that we're making for Justin, you can kind of say for Jordan Travis, he has one because now he has a fair shot to try to prove that he's worth keeping.
Let's explore that one for a second, because on my sheet, I've got a list of winners and I got a list of losers. And
you have Jordan Travis as a loser.
No, I have it Anchorman style for anyone who's seen the movie. And I'm like, stay classy, San Diego? I have Jordan Travis in the winner section with a question mark. And it's not, to me, you're right. They didn't take a quarterback in the draft. If they would have, in theory, he's the first one to go because Justin Fields ain't going anywhere, no matter what they did. Tyrod Taylor ain't going nowhere based on what he did. So it would, in theory, have to be Travis. So that's true, and it looked good news for that. Then after the draft, Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn, Rich Cimini asked 2 questions about Jordan Travis. Number one, he's like, wow, you didn't take a quarterback. How much did you think about that? And does this sort of crown Dennis Green style? You want to crown him, the crown their ass. If you're going to crown, is Jordan Travis your developmental guy? Because clearly you didn't draft one. And Darren Muji completely ignored that part of the question. He didn't answer it. And they just said, yeah, we thought about some quarterbacks, but we like our group. Thanks. And then a question came up later. So, yeah, you didn't answer the Jordan Travis part, but Jordan Travis, medical update. And Darren Muji's like, I don't get into medical stuff publicly at this time. So I feel, this is what I said on the morning show, so feel free to combat this, Woody. If Jordan Travis was healthy and ready to go, why wouldn't you scream that from the rooftops? You're damn straight we didn't take a quarterback because we got a developmental one. His name's Jordan Travis, and we'll see you in OTAs. Pew-pew! Throw him in the pocket. Let's roll. They didn't say that. Why? Why didn't they say that? We go back to Aaron Glenn, my favorite comment at the owners' meetings. Rich Cimini says, hey, is Jordan Travis going to be ready for OTAs? Aaron Glenn goes, I'm not a doctor. And then Rich Cimini's like, well, okay, but what about this? And then you just have this cat and mouse game between AG and Rich Cimini, which it always seems to be Rich Cimini. So I throw this over to you, Woody. Why are they not giving us an update on Jordan Travis? Is it because they don't want to give medical updates on anybody? This is the new regime the way it is? Or is it something more?
That face when you said that, it was pretty funny. Well, I mean, Muji definitely said it generally. Our general manager said it as a general statement. We don't provide medical updates by any of our players, not just Jordan Travis. It's worth when you get, little information.
Mm-hmm.
It's always worth saying, what are they hiding right now? I have no reason to believe that trouble is afoot. I think like you said, right? Regardless of the words are just words. The action is that they did not draft a QB. So with that being said, Jordan Travis has to be considered a winner because his job, like his percentages of having a job in September, are dramatically higher than they would have been if they selected my boy Will Howard in the 6th round. So, yeah, I think he's a winner. Now, does that mean he is going to continue to win, or what is his future? I can't speak on that. But right now, April 29th, fallout from the draft, Jordan Travis, you best believe, is a winner for a lot of the same reasons that Justin Fields is also a winner.
Quick follow-up. Jordan Travis, just make sure your rear view mirror works because Brady Cook, he dominated the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. He had the fastest 40-yard dash, fastest 10-yard shuttle, best broad jump, best vertical jump, best three-cone drill, and best 20-yard shuttle of all the quarterbacks. In every category that they measured a quarterback in something, Brady Cook was in first place in Indianapolis. Now, he wasn't drafted, okay, but the Jets brought him in. He is very intriguing to me. So the competition is on like Donkey Kong as far as I'm concerned. Are the Jets going to keep a QB3 at all in the 53 man? We could debate that. But either way, whoever the guy is, I imagine they end up on the practice squad one way or the other, whether it's Travis or Cook, and let the games begin, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. And I guess what should we do? I guess I mean we kind of did two positives there.
Okay.
It was really one, but it was kind of two. So I guess I'll go back to the negative.
Oh, nice.
Negative.
Yeah, give me a loser. Give me a big fat loser. Come on now.
Well, hey, no matter what happens, this guy, he won in life. All right. He was
Jesus.
Hey. He was drafted to an NFL team, scratch and claw, did everything he could. But it's him. He hates this man. Right? He looked at this name. He's like, oh, wow, this is a silly name. You know what? Let me get a more generic name. Brandon Stevens, come on down. And then he was like, oh, you know what? No, forget about that because I can't even pronounce the next cornerback that he got on. But what he has done is successfully dig a huge hole and just pile on new cornerbacks for Quantez Stiggers to be buried on this depth chart. He might be my pick for the biggest loser from this draft.
Wow.
The draft results. It is very unfortunate for someone. There were people out there, and I'll never stop reminding you because it's crazy. There were people out there that literally said, we drafted Quantez Stiggers, trade DJ Reed. That's what y'all said. You said trade DJ Reed for Quantez Stiggers. Now my man's is buried. He's CB6 right now. And it's just crazy.
Let me see. I'm trying to do the quick math in my head of a 53-man roster. I know this is a bold take. I think Sauce is making the roster. So we got Sauce. Well, we got Michael Carter II, Azarie Thomas, the rookie Florida State corner, Brandon Stevens. That's 4. And now we get into the conversation of guys like Quantez Stiggers, JBC, Isaiah Oliver, and now we're rounding out the group. And again, here's the thing we don't know, and I mentioned this, I think, on the morning show. We don't know the new regime's ideology, right? Saleh, they're keeping 10 defensive linemen. We just got to pick the 10. We know none of those thresholds of 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 5 receivers, this, that, or the other. So that part is wide open, and that's where we get into the conversation. If a gun was to my head right now, I have Stiggers making it. And maybe it's just because I'm a Stiggers fan. I don't know. But boy, he's in a tough spot. This $36 million man ain't leaving. Azarie Thomas ain't leaving. Sauce Gardner ain't leaving. MC2 ain't leaving. So at best, he's 5. But Isaiah Oliver might be like, excuse me? Okay, 6. So it gets a little dicey. I love Stiggers, so I hope there's a path for that. I do hope. So fingers crossed for the young man. We got 300 people in the room. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe, baby. Show your support. We're streaming live in 5 different places. I don't know how that's humanly possible. It's above my pay grade, but somehow I've been told it is happening. My Instagram, Woody's Instagram, my Twitter, my YouTube, and the YouTube channel Take Flight Talk for all things New York Jets, baby. All things this show, of course, and also additional things beyond that as well. And again, as you guys see in the scrolling ticker, we have a raffle going on for today and tomorrow, the last 2 days, day and a half, if you will, of this raffle. It is to replace BMAX. So if you want a chance at winning an emoji, baby, make sure you purchase from the high heavens. There you go. We'll throw it up on the screen. Replace the BMAC emoji. We've set an emoji bounty raffle to throw out BMAC and replace them to the highest bidder. I am an absolute entrepreneur, baby, and I'm willing, a capitalist, I'm making my moolah. So feel free to do so. Again, super chats, memberships, and all the like. Join the Boy Green Coffee Club today in the YouTube description down below. Join the Boy Green Coffee Club here, $2.99.
And shout out to Dano in the comments. His grandma must have the most high-tech toaster of all times. I've never seen myself on a toaster before, but I guess he's watching me on grandma's toaster right now.
Salute to Gam Gam, baby. Yes, sir. All right, let's go to a new one. Let's go to a new one here. Let's go with another loser. I want to double up on the losers. And I've waited as long as I could. I wanted to say this immediately. I wanted to. And I'm going to channel in my Ace Ventura pet detective. The who? The her. And that would be Jeremy Bleepin Ruckert, baby. A big, fat Ohio State loser. And it is this. But I'm reconnected with my old quarterback. Sorry, pal, that's not going to save you. This is one of those kind of leagues where you sink or you swim. And your fat ass is falling down to the bottom of the ocean, buddy boy. And it's this. We go to the tight ends. Mason Taylor was the guy. Okay, he's top billing. He's up there. We got Stone Cold Smart, baby. He's on the list. And Woody's face. And Jeremy Ruckert, to me, I think his best chance at making this roster and really, quite frankly, salvaging his NFL career is embracing what got him here in the first place. It is not the receiving game. He showed glimpses of that at Ohio State that people thought, oh, it's here. Maybe it can be here. That was projection. The thing that was no projection as I use my waving finger, is Jeremy Ruckert's blocking. That was supposed to be the bread and butter foundation of what he brought. That no matter what, he can't bust because he's at least this. That is what I was told. Those were the pleasantries that were whispered in my ear when he was the 101st overall pick, and we have not seen that. Is it, as EC sent to the super chat this morning, saying, hey, it's on the coaching? They didn't get it out of him? Maybe. Is it on the player? I'm not sure. But if Jeremy Ruckert, here's some advice. I'm sure he wants to take some from me after I just called him a big fat loser. But if he wants to take some advice from me, it would be embrace the blocking. Be the H-back fullback for the Jets. Throw Beck off the roster. This random fullback we signed this offseason. You become the fullback. You become the do-it-all man. If you can, your career can be salvaged. If you can't, well, here's your pink slip, buddy. Peace.
Jeremy Ruckert did not make my list of losers because I don't think it's I think if anyone, like, I thought tight end was almost like a lock, right, to get drafted, or to be added.
I would have said that about defensive tackle too, but
yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But yeah, so seeing that it was. Right, like I don't think Ruckert is sitting there shocked. Maybe to the extent that Quantez, if I'm Quantez, I'm shocked. Like I'm like, damn, they're piling on this position. But for Ruckert, I don't think he's in the same position to think that. I also, I don't think that this is the end. It could be the end. It can very well be the end of his Jets tenure. But I don't think this automatically means that it's the end of his Jets tenure. But I do have my second biggest winner, right? Fields is clearly number one. My second biggest winner is actually Mason Taylor. So this is honestly the perfect segue. I can't even have a better segue because the last tight end that the New York Jets, drafted in, one of those first 4 rounds is Ruckert. And the problem, in my estimation, was that they literally plucked 2 veteran starting tight ends, CJ Uzomah, Tyler Conklin. They were starting for their teams.
Oh, yes.
Paid them $15 million combined and then drafted Ruckert. And Ruckert started his career buried, not getting opportunities. They weren't that good. The 2 players above him. Then the coaching staff was awful. And then, we're shocked that Ruckert isn't Travis Kelce. Mason Taylor is getting drafted into a situation where he is the one above ground. Every day above ground is a good day. Tony Montana said it best. He is the guy. The two veterans, they don't even matter. They literally don't matter. So this is his job, his world, right? And we're all just living in it. Justin Fields, the offensive line, right? So the pressure, because that's his one knock is the blocking, right? But right now the Jets have their best offensive line in 10 years. So he can kind of be eased into the right. If he's not the best blocker, it's not catastrophic for the offense, but his hands will be what we most value, and that's what Justin Fields will need. So I feel like how the team is set up right now is perfect for him to succeed and develop. This, in terms of where he could have gone, this has to be a top 5 scenario for him in the NFL. I think he is a huge winner. This is a great start for his career. And, he has the tools that Rucker didn't.
I love entering these shows because we did not reveal our list to each other, just that the topic would come up. And I love entering this with an open mind to be surprised. And what you say is often forgotten history. That offseason in which you referenced, the Jets invested $45 million at tight end. CJ Uzomah somehow got more than Tyler Conklin. I still don't understand that one. He got $24 million, and Tyler Conklin got another $21 million. $45 million then for a position they largely ignored for a decade. 101st overall pick, boop, tight end, Jeremy Ruckert. And he is buried. And then when we look at the statistical or lack thereof production, we're like, Jeremy, what are you doing? So it's a great highlight by you saying, whoa. Okay, maybe he's still going down this road, but hey, man, this is a note that he was buried. Plus the Liz Frank injury. People forget about that. He got hurt at the Senior Bowl that year. He was already hurt before he got here. Apparently the Jets have an affinity for that sort of thing. Pour one out for Jordan Travis, wherever you may be. So the point is that this dude was buried at the medical office and by the people that were already drafted or signed predating his arrival in the first place. So I think that's a great shout out. By the way, speaking of shout-outs, let's give some more shout-outs to the people in our comment section. I see Gohan Angered. You're up in here in the channel. We appreciate that. And I see that a lot of people are accusing this supposed quote-unquote BMAC of being fake in the comment section. BMAC, you have a way right now to prove your legitimacy. Go down in the Boy Green Coffee Club YouTube description down below and join the Boy Green Coffee Club. If you join, you're as official to me as anybody. So if you want the official tag, $2.99, brother. Join the Boy Green Coffee Club in the YouTube description down below. I highly recommend that for anyone watching. If you want to know what that is, look, Taylor Sterling, Boy Green Coffee Club member here on the chat, and a couple others. So Hennessy Heisman, Boy Green Coffee Club member. Join that. You get the loyalty badge. You can help support the program, so feel free to do so. Love it. Okay, so good. I like that. Very nice little shout there. Let's go with a positive. Let's go with another positive. I like mixing it up here. This is one of my favorite positives on the list. This is a guy that I have been very high on for a while. And based on the results of the draft, well, I hope the Jets are too. Leonard Taylor III. Just like this. L.A. Knight, yeah? LT3, yeah? That's how I'm feeling. That Leonard Taylor III baby, an undrafted free agent from last year. An undrafted free agent, a lot of them said, damn, I thought this guy was going to be drafted in the 4th round, the 5th round, the 6th, the 7th. Apparently there were some problems at Miami, baby, for old LT3 here, where people question the drive and the work ethic. Can he take it to this next level? And obviously the Jets thought he could initially by signing him, and he's continued to prove that in flashes that he has it. To me, the most puzzling thing from the draft is why in the bleep did the Jets not draft the defensive tackle? Hell, in my last mock draft, I had them doing a discount double check, dipping the chicken nugget twice. 1, 2. And they went 0. I'll just have it with no sauce. Thanks. Whoa, okay. Sort of threw me off, and I'm high on LT3, and I still said, well, yeah, but he's just a man, Rocky. He can't be the only guy that's helping out not named Quinnen Williams, because that's what we're talking about here. Obviously, we have Quinnen Williams at defensive tackle, but who is the Robin Jewish Batman? We've been dramatically and desperately trying to find it for years. I think LT3 is the guy to circle, and now that they didn't draft the defensive tackle, you are left with two realities. One, the Jets just totally blew it in the draft, certainly possible. Or two, they believe in the players on the roster more than we do. Come on, pour one out for Byron Cowart, Derek Nottie, okay, Jay Tufele, member of the Bloodline. Put your ones up out there, perhaps, I'm not sure, of some American Samoan love, the Polynesian culture. I'm not sure. But what I'm hoping is, sure, those rando guys, but specifically, LT3 has to be a winner because he has an opportunity of opportunities. And this is it. If LT3 doesn't seize it now, my honest, and again, we follow each other on social media, we've DM'd before, we've talked. I'm telling this straight up to LT3. If you don't seize it now, you're never going to seize it, man. Now is your moment in the sun. Prove to all the fans going, geez, where's the defensive tackle? Shut them all up by dominating. And Jets and Jet fans will both go, oh, that's why they didn't, because they got LT3. He's the guy to circle. So much potential, so much upside. I'm excited for the young man. I think he's one of the biggest winners of this weekend.
He is on my list as a winner. I mean, that's clear, right? The same thing we said about, or what I was saying about Jordan Travis, right? Because, he's a little lower on the totem pole. If you don't draft another one of those, you automatically are a winner. That is the case of LT3. I think you're putting way too much pressure on an undrafted free agent who is now, in a, whole new everything, whole new culture, regime, coaches, defensive scheme, all that type of stuff. I am not expecting him to be Aaron Donald. If you don't see it now, I'm not saying, but I'm a huge fan of him, his motor, everything. We've been saying that. So I was happy to see that his chances for survival are high. I don't expect this season to be the coming out party. It shouldn't be. Bryce Huff, it took a few years, and then he was doing work. I think it's the same thing for LT3. Derek Nottie has been the worst defensive tackle in PFF's rankings the last 2 years. He was dead last year, and the year before that, he was third to last out of almost 200, 200 plus defensive tackles. So give me, as a loser, my favorite Jet, Quinnen Williams. I think Quinnen Williams, we've been trying to find the Robin to his Batman, and they was like, hey, here's Alf. Nothing. We got nothing here. We got old Derek, bro. Come on now. And with Quinnen, it stinks because I think the fan base, just expects everyone to be a Hall of Famer every year, no matter what, right? You saw how viciously and how quickly the fan base was to turn on Sauce just because for the first time ever in his career, he didn't have an all-pro season. Quinnen has been the target of, he can't get sacks, he can't do this, he can't do that. But what we have seen very consistently is that Quinnen is unguardable one-on-one. He is simply unguardable one-on-one. So how do you get Quinnen to be in a one-on-one situation? You put someone of talent, someone of use directly next to him, right? And that's what hasn't been happening. When it does happen, or when you have pressure coming from the edges, Carl Lawson, shout out to you. Quinnen had his best season with that pressure being generated because now you can't double, triple team. You have to worry about other players. With this defensive line as it is, it's going to be tough. I think Quinnen's going to be eating a lot of double teams. You guys are going to be saying he stinks again, but that's what you guys are going to say. But I know that it's never about him stinking. It's about trying to put him in the right place to succeed. I do not think, best case scenario, I still don't think LT3 is going to be out here protecting Quinnen from double teams. So I think he is a loser because his value is not going to look as good as it could.
I'll give a warning to the National Football League right now. April 29th, 3:40 p.m. Eastern Time for those tuning in live. Double Quinnen Williams at your own peril. Double Quinnen Williams at your own peril. You may say, what are you talking about, Paul? LT3. Woody may not expect him to be Aaron Donald. I don't either. He's going to be better. Give me LT3, baby. Let's go. Turn up. Let's go. Let's go.
I don't even want to. I can't even speak on that. But yes.
But I do want to say this. I do want to highlight it because I've seen Keep It Simple RC say this, and this is something I've been mentioning as well. So throw this up at the screen. Keep It Simple RC. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Again, guys, make sure you like the video, hit subscribe. That's a free way to contribute to this channel and also Take Flight Talk. YouTube and the algorithm and things of that nature, doing the free part shows it, oh, we should show this to more Jet fans, and it'll put that in front of them. I am personally chasing 10,000 subscribers. We're 2.3 thousand away. I want to chip away every day. That's been a massive milestone of mine for many years, so I'm hoping to get there. So please help me do so. Thank you kindly. Keep It Simple RC. BG, a lot has been made of the defensive tackle situation, but people don't stop to consider the Steve Wilks factor. Here's a seasoned coach who's coached a bunch and had success under varying circumstances. I think there is a legitimate chance that the schematic changes that are set to happen here with AG and Steve Wilks taking over could help the run defense issues. If you look at AG's history, this is a guy that routinely and consistently, despite whatever talent he may have, has done a really good job of saying the buck stops here. You guys may do a lot to my defense, but you ain't going to run all over me. And that is the bare bones foundation. Now, is he able to snap his fingers and it happens no matter what? I'm not sure I'm saying that. But there's a chance that it could be better. Think about this. You go to the Saleh scheme, and there was a lot of great. Those guys are taught to pin their ears back and recklessly go after like, look at Javon Kinlaw last year. He had a lot of sacks, but he had a lot of ole. There was a lot of that happening last year because they were just hunting, sack, pass rush. I believe the Jets are going to have a switch turn, not to say sacks are not going to be important and things of that nature, but I think stopping the run is going to be the start of the conversation. And once you do that, the quote, they used to use this last year, you earn the right to rush the passer based on your ability to stop the run. So to your point, Keep It Simple RC, I agree. We still don't know what scheme we're going to get exactly. AG said he wants to collect all the talent and then figure that out, but I just think that's part of the equation. So yes, that should help. I don't think that will just solve it immediately, whatever that is, but I think it will be a net positive, quite frankly.
Yeah, it could. Steve Wilks, obviously, a valid defensive mind.
Sure.
But it's also worth noting, he's bounced around the last 4 years. Like he hasn't even he has not been at a job and been rehired for the next year, over the last 4 years. And
it was his choice. His choice. He left.
He wasn't fired by Kyle Shanahan.
I want to make this clear. I've never been broken up with once. I left every relationship, or it was mutual. It was one or the other every time. 1,000%. No denying.
Yes. So when Boy Green's not playing, when he's being serious, listen to your boy Wudi right now, because he was getting fired, and he had the Niners. It was the same Niners that Saleh had, and trust me, they did not look like Saleh's Niners. So I guess with me saying that, okay. I mean, yeah, he's a good coach. It's possible. Definitely wouldn't, hold my breath for it. I think Matthias said, he's gonna have to perform magic to stop the run with this group. And hey, that's wrong. You might need to, get Ron Weasley, Harry Potter, one of those boys, because I don't think they said that, but they you need something because again, you need personnel. Of course, you can make things better. You can make, sure. I think Saleh did a fantastic job of making things look better than they were. But I don't know if you can make Derek Nottie. If Spags is not doing it, right? That's if Steve Spagnuolo is not doing it, I don't know if this other Steve is going to do it.
Derek Nottie, to your point, you can bring up a lot of analytics that look a little questionable recently, specifically last year, only playing like 20% of the snaps. He had been a career 40-snap guy.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. But now keep it simple. The point that I made is not that Steve Wilks hasn't been somewhere for 4 consecutive years. I'm saying he has not been anywhere for 1 year. He's gone after that 1 year. 4 straight years. So 4 years, 4 jobs. That is what I meant. So please,
let's actually pivot to this.
The great Bill Parcells. Have you lost your mind? Please Sorry, that was I had to.
Let's go to this real quick. I think there are two schools of thought here. Okay, and I'm going to compare it to this. You tell me if this is valid. Okay? In my life, I grew up in a military family. I did not stay in one place too long. Constantly on the move. I lived in New York. What? I lived in South Carolina. What? I lived in Georgia. What? I lived in another part of South Carolina. What? And people say, like, Paul, you friggin' vagabond, you're never in one place. You're always moving all over the place. And then I meet people. I'm born and raised here 25 years. Me and my family. We grew our roots here. We're nurtured. We did this. And there are pros and cons to me to both situations. When you're in a lot of different places, you learn a lot of different things. You get a lot of different touch points. You're learning different schematics, being around different people. As I transition this back to the coaching conversation, sometimes when you're in one place all the time, you just get yes man mentality. You all guys are saying the same bullshit. You're feeding the same bullshit to each other all the time. Sometimes it's good. New England, right? That nonsense group was there for 20-something years altogether. Won a bunch of Super Bowls. Sometimes it works. But sometimes keeping it fresh in different places gives you a different perspective. And that's what I choose to point at with Steve Wilks. I think he's a wonderful defensive mind. That, to your point, sure, in terms of consistency, right? On the job employment, he gives a resume to AG. He's like, good Lord. Okay, where we try to break a world record here of how many different places you can work over the last 30 years? What's going on here? Again, I think there are pros and I think there are cons. To me, as a person that had been moving all over the place, I say the pros. I've been able to develop a lot more relationships doing my thing than I would have if I was just in one place my entire life. And I think that transitions to coaching too.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting fired. He was consistently not good enough to keep his job, which is very different than the reason why you were moving from place to place. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you got a lot of network. You got a big contact list. That's nice. That's cool.
Okay, wow. I didn't expect this Steve Wilks slander. Wouldn't say this.
Slander?
It's a coordinator in the league. He's just some trash bag of garbage. I mean, geez, okay. All right, I guess we'll see if Wilks makes a believer out of you coming up this season, I suppose. I got one more name I want to sprinkle in, and it is Breece. And let me make sure I get it here. I don't know if this is on the internet real quick, but let me see. I think so. Oh, no, his middle name is not openly available on the internet. Good for Breece. He shouldn't put that out there. But Breece Hall. I was going to give him the full name, but Breece Hall. Maybe he doesn't have a middle name. I don't know. But Breece Hall is a winner. First off, he's still a member of the Jets. Apparently that was in question, I guess. Okay. And no running back was selected. They did bring in Donovan Edwards, who, by the way, I love. We could have a separate UDFA show in the future about guys you like. I think he's going to be the RB4 on this team. I think he's making the roster. I think he's a super talented guy. Run the football, catch a football in the backfield, all that stuff. But he's a UDFA. Put him aside. Breece Hall's the winner. He's going to get his chance. FL Phil 98, I've quoted you a lot, and for good reason. Because you say that if Breece Hall is going to be motivated, this is the year to be motivated. You are in a contract year. Your NFL life is on the line of real NFL. And I don't mean just lasting in the league being some golf bag carrying guy, like being the guy. You dominate this year, someone's going to give you the bag. And I imagine a lot of people are going to be in that line. The motivation is now. You're on this run-ass heavy offense with Justin Fields. You should deliver the greatest season you've ever delivered and show the tantalizing nature of what Jet fans have seen in glimpses and pops. And now is Breece Hall's chance. Barring some unforeseen franchise-altering running back trade, which I don't have on my bingo card, Breece Hall's the guy, and let's see if he can stay healthy, he can stay motivated, and he can get over whatever has ailed him. Last year he didn't look right. So what is that going to be? I am fascinated. Breece Hall is a major winner from this draft. And now let's see what he does with it. He can win the Boy Green meets Wudi. Hey, you won the 2025 NFL Draft Award. I don't know where that stands on the mantle, but let's see if he can transform that into something greater this season.
When you said you had one name left, I had two. But luckily for me, you brought up one of them. Great. Breece Hall, he is unquestionably a winner. I had him as my third highest winner. Fields, it's a landslide. Mason, because of all the things I said before. Breece, I mean, you built the line, and you said apparently that was a question. According to our GM, and I'm going to believe him, because he said it clear, He didn't have any coaches be, oh, I won't speak on that. Oh, don't worry about that. No, they said you cannot say any more clearer than this. He said we took no calls on Breece Hall. He is a member of this team. That is one of the most emphatic endorsements I have ever heard. You don't really say that because, everyone does have a price. We know that in reality. Everyone truly does have a price. But here they are saying that it is their intention to keep him, and then they draft this right tackle. Everything that you said, I wholeheartedly agree with about him, this being his chance. This is his shot. This is the career year that we're looking for. His uncle is Hall of Famer Roger Craig. Let's see. That's what he was trying to be, right? He wanted to be a top running back. He wanted to be on track for the Hall of Fame. And now the only thing that people keep reminding me, which, drives up my blood pressure each time, is, oh, well, he's never had a 1,000-yard season. And honestly, that's not even entirely his fault with the terrible mathematicians over there in Salah's regime.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have let it get to that point. Maybe he should have had 1,000 yards a long time ago, because this isn't 1992 and 1,000 yards isn't what it used to be. Maybe he shouldn't have left it in the hands of the judges, so to speak. Maybe he should have.
What do you mean left it in there? He first of all, he was on pace for like 2,100 yards when he tore his ACL, and then he came back from an ACL, and he pretty much had it. That's what I'm saying. He would have had 1,000 if they gave him another carry. They stopped giving him carries because they thought they got it. But I understand you need to play devil's advocate.
But even still, though, right? Like, again, we use that term all the time in MMA. Judges, don't leave it close. Someone barely scraping the barrel over 1,000 yards in game 17 in week 18 is not that impressive. The fact that he hasn't done it, despite mathematician on the sideline or not, it's sort of on Breece.
I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree. He can't call himself more carries. He can't do it. And the team last year was last in the league in carries. So I don't know how we're getting this volume rushing attack when he consistently is not getting the same carries as literally any running back in the league. He didn't
look healthy last year.
He's still not getting the carries. Was Braylon getting the carries? Did Braylon, I'm not sure what the where this conversation is heading, but I'll say this is that this is right. He has a chance right here. They gave him the ringing endorsement. He's not going anywhere. And now they have an offensive line, right? They got Membu. He is definitely a winner from this draft. But I will say, I guess this is the last name. We literally mentioned every name besides this one that I wrote down. Is loser Malachi Corley. He was someone who came in, wasn't used at all. All right. I know we've all said we want receivers. They gave us Tyler Johnson, Josh Reynolds. Now, some of you guys are hyped. Some of you guys, high on that Kool-Aid, telling me that, they about to do this and that. But for the rest of us, I was looking at Ted. I was looking at all this stuff. But what they ended up doing with forgetting his first name, but Smith, the receiver, Arian Smith, the receiver. That seems like somebody who's a candidate to take the role that I thought Corley was going to have, with the, end arounds, get him the ball in space, because Corley is the Yak King, or was the Yak. Someone was saying that to me, Yak King. And I personally don't believe that lack of snaps means lack of talent. Now, of course, a lot of times that is the case. But when you have a regime as poorly run as this one, and, the favoritism that Aaron Rodgers clearly had for his receivers and disdain for other receivers, I don't know how you can look at Corley's snap count and say, damn, he is garbage. I really don't, because there were so many factors at play. I don't know if Aaron Glenn has even talked to him, because apparently he makes roster decisions without even talking to the people in question. I have no idea how they feel about Corley, but what has been made clear is that they have added 3 receivers, retained Alan Lazard. So it's actually a pretty crowded room. There's a lot of comments in here about, we got to add a veteran receiver. I think that's done. I think you got your vets. Tyler Johnson, that's your vet. I think you've seen a lot of additions already, but Malachi Corley, he is a candidate where I'm saying, damn, he might not even make this team. Where this is his second year, hasn't really had an opportunity. The one end around he got was 23 yards. He has dropped the ball, which is something Jonathan Taylor does, but not one person is saying cut him. But I just think this is a big loss on his potential role on this team.
Well, I have to match your respectfully disagree with another respectfully disagree. With all due respect. Gonna have to hit the old disagree button here. The only receiver the Jets drafted was some guy named Arian Smith, who most Jet fans didn't even know what his name was heading into the draft, for Pete's sake. And if they did know his name, it's like, oh yeah, that's the guy that drops balls at Georgia. That may have been the only reason they knew his name. To me, I think what Arian Smith provides and what Malachi Corley provides are different. Now, there's connective tissue of smoke pops, flares, things of that, for lack of a better word, manufactured touches. Like the play is Arian. We're in the huddle. Arian, you. Like other plays, hey, everyone runs some routes and I'll sort of progress and find out who's the open guy. In those Arian plays, for some of them, they may be designed in that Malachi Corley way. But besides that, though, I think Corley should be feeling as great as he could possibly be feeling about this, because there were a lot of opportunities. You mentioned it. Tedero McMillan, Matthew Golden. I mean, we can pull up the draft thing and go, if we had more time, we'd go piece by piece and literally say, oh, look, they passed on this guy, all these guys. To me, I don't believe that Malachi Corley is in this terrible spot. Can he still get cut? Absolutely. We have no idea what his cachet is with this new regime. Zero idea. That for sure. But of the room of who he has to beat, Josh Reynolds and Alan Lazard seem like the same guy. One of those, more so Lazard, could be traded to Pittsburgh after Aaron Rodgers comes to town and ends up being a thing. So we'll see on his future of what he ends up being. He's a lot more movable now with how his contract is. I think Corley, as long as he what's the word I'm looking for? Takes advantage, like, sort of buckles his bootstrap, so to speak. Like he sort of, God, the words escaping me from school that you apply yourself. If he applies himself with everything that's here, he has all the opportunity in the world. Cause like I left the draft after free agency and everything. I'm like, woof. There's Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I know that guy. Who the hell's wide receiver 2? To me, that's a big, fat question mark. I'm like, Josh Reynolds, Alan Lazard, wide receivers 3s and 4s. Arian Smith I have no idea what he is. He's a fast guy who will be used, I'm sure, in that Mike Wallace, old school Pittsburgh type of way, where he's going to be taking deep shots as a automatic, and then we'll see what else comes together. To me, I think Malachi Corley still has every opportunity to do what he wants to do. If they would have drafted the receiver at 7, oh boy. They draft the receiver at 42. They trade back up or so. Oh boy. A trade for a receiver, do something crazy. Yikes. You're in trouble. His only real competition are 1-year deal, cheap veteran contracts. And then, oh yeah, we drafted a random receiver in the 4th round. I think Malachi Corley's straight. It's going to be up to him to take advantage of this. But I didn't have him winner or loser. I just said, man, you're there. I didn't designate you with either award, I'm afraid. So
if I could just push back to one thing, I don't think Arian Smith, he may be written into the fans, but the fans don't make the personnel decisions.
Sure.
Unfortunately, a lot of the things that are said in the comments do not actually, unless Brick is also in the comments, doesn't really impact what's going on in one Jets drive. That coaching staff is super high on Arian Smith. Coach Glenn compared this boy to Jameson Williams. And Jameson Williams is an electric target. You last week just wanted to trade the number 42 pick or it was one of those picks, because I know you traded back all the jiu-jitsu you just did, but you traded a high pick for Jameson Williams.
It was 42.
In Aaron Glenn's mind, that's what he just picked up. A speedster, had issues with drops. He thinks he's able to fix that, and now he's got Jameson Williams. Well, let me tell you right now, 32 out of 32 GMs right now would rather have Jameson Williams than Malachi Corley. So if Aaron Glenn is thinking of Aaron Smith and looking at Aaron Smith and thinking Jameson Williams, then let me be the first to tell you, Boy Green, that Malachi Corley is lower on the depth chart than him. So I do think he has to do some digging to, impress this group that has pretty much said nothing about him, right? I feel like that is the absence of, being part of the conversation is worse than good or bad, in my opinion.
I will push back to your pushback. Yeah, this is a debate show. I will start. You will start. I will counter. I will counter. I will counter your counter up your counter. And here's the thing you mentioned. Well, 4th round draft choice. Come on, man. Let me introduce you to, come on down, Jalen Saunders. Come on down, Shaq Evans. Do you know who any of these people are? You shouldn't. They're random-ass wide receivers the Jets in yesteryear took in the 4th round. They didn't make the team in the year they were drafted. They were cut months later, specifically at wide receiver. I used a few of those examples, but there's other ones. Ja'Kai Polite, 3rd-round pick, was cut the same year that he was drafted. Those things happen. And that, to me, the cachet of the investment, sure, they seem high on him. They seem high on him right now. Let's fast forward because we're going to find out, what is that, 5 months? 5 months-ish, 4 or 5 months, we're going to find out with roster cuts and things of that nature. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. I hope Arian Smith shuts everybody up. He's been the most criticized 4th-round pick in the history of New York Jets football, for God's sakes. So I am looking forward to see what happens. Malachi, the Yak King, Yak God, yak, favorite animal, a yak in school, Polly Wallawak, give a dog a bone. We'll see what you do, pal.
Oh, well, I just want to take this moment right now to show so much love to everybody in the comments. I see some, people saying, preach Boy Green, preach Wudi.
Yeah.
Of course, a big one that, I love. This duo is great, right? Hey, a lot of times we're not going to see eye to eye, but you already know we're always going to give our points respectfully, right? Honestly.
With all due respect.
Yeah, and logically, I think that's a huge part, is that we're coming from a place most times. Sometimes Boy Green be wild, but for the most part, we are coming from a place of logic, understanding. So I'm glad that some of the fans see it from Boy Green's perspective, and then they all see it from the correct perspective. I just love this show. I love the instant feedback. I guess time will tell if Corley is indeed, safe. He's good. I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, or if he is indeed behind that 8 ball, getting ready to be on the chopping block.
We'll take the word from a former umpire. Safe. No, I was never a former umpire. I'm sorry, I lied. I don't know why I felt the need to do that, but that's neither here nor there. We got 400 people in the room. Guys, if you really appreciate the show, and obviously you do in the comment section, do your part. Like the video, hit subscribe here on YouTube. This is Boy Green, and very easy to find on YouTube. And then Take Flight Talk. That is Woody's YouTube as well. We're trying to grow his channel, trying to grow my channel. So feel free to show that support, everybody, and make sure you do that. And again, if you want to support the show even further than that, you like it, guys, YouTube description down below. Join the Boy Green Coffee Club here. It's only $2.99 a month. It's dirt cheap. And I try to make it dirt cheap on purpose so you guys can support and take your support to another level, but also so it doesn't, I got to pay that $2.99 to Boy Green. Hopefully it's a very purchase that you feel really good about supporting, again, local content creators. So thank you. And CBW says there's 265 plus on Twitter. Hey, shout out to those people as well. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, IG, all of it, baby. We appreciate it. So thank you guys so much. Any final words here, Woody, as we're signing off?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying before, super appreciative. Boy Green pretty much said it all. But just to give you my own personal plea for Take Flight Talk on YouTube, that's at Take Flight Talk. It is a place where you will be seeing my own personal thoughts outside of this show, right? Regarding the Jets. Right, because this show is Tuesday, Thursday. But when things happen on a Saturday, if you want to see what your boy is saying, Also, Abby, I know you guys have seen her. She's been on this show a couple times. Instagram, all that type of stuff. She will also be providing her thoughts on the channel. Boy Green said his goal is 10,000. Give her brother 1,000. Can I get 1,000 subs? Can I get 1,000? All right, we got and all the people that are in the room right now. If each of you just subscribe to the Take Flight Talk channel, you would double my subscribers. We would be on the path, the road to 1,000. Can we make it there? Please, let's rock everywhere.
Hey, there's levels. We got to start somewhere, for God's sake. So appreciate you, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wudi said it. We'll see you again on Thursday at 3 o'clock for the Boy Green Wudi combination, and tomorrow morning for Boy Green Daily at 7:30 in the morning. Thanks, everybody, for the love. Appreciate you. Terrence said he just gave another like and unsubscribed and then resubscribed. I don't know if that does anything to sub just to feel like he did something today. So salute to you, Terrence. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for Boy Green Daily. JETS, Jets. Jets.